What's going on, gardeners? On today's 2-minute garden tip, I'm going to show you a huge mistake that some gardeners make when transplanting seedlings out into their vegetable garden that could kill them all, and how to avoid it. 2 weeks ago, I planted all of my indeterminate tomatoes out into my garden, but something terrible happened. A windstorm swept through the area and it damaged several of my plants, breaking them in half and throwing them across my yard. The original tomato plants that I planted that survived the storm look great. They are dark green, healthy, and growing like weeds. But the 3 tomato plants that were damaged in the storm and had to be replaced have an off-white color to them, and their leaves look cooked. And what you're seeing right here is the effect of sunburn. That's because these plants were rushed out into the garden too quickly and they were not fully acclimated to the sun. Seedlings grown indoors underneath grow lights have to be hardened off before they're transplanted outdoors into your garden. That's because the true sun has harsh UV rays that indoor grow lights do not have. So if you simply transfer your plants outside immediately without a period of acclimation, they will literally get cooked and burned alive. And that's the problem that you see with this tomato transplant right here. It was not fully hardened off yet. Now, my original crop of tomato plants were hardened off outdoors over a period of 1 to 2 weeks, so they were more than acclimated to true sunlight. But because several of my plants got damaged and I had to rush some spare seedlings out into my garden, they only got acclimated for a few days and it was not enough. So they got cooked. Now, luckily, because the plants were partially acclimated and they're pretty large, they are recovering and putting on healthy, true leaves. But if this tomato transplant was a lot smaller or it wasn't partially hardened off, it could have gotten cooked and it may have died completely. So always harden off your transplants to true outdoor conditions before you move them out into your garden if you started them indoors underneath grow lights. The best way to do this is to bring your transplants outdoors on completely overcast days like I have right now. That is the best weather to acclimate your seedlings. But if you don't have overcast skies, what you want to do is on day 1, expose them to the first 2 hours of morning sunlight and the last 2 hours of evening sunlight because the sun is the weakest. Then every day add 1 additional hour of exposure until they can sit outside in the true sun all day. This entire process will take about 1 to 2 weeks. You want to do this slowly over at least a week, but if you can stretch it out to 10 to 14 days, doing it very conservatively, that is even better. And this isn't true for only seedlings. My dragon fruit and all of my coffee plants spent all winter indoors inside my chilly sunroom, and I'm taking advantage of the next couple cloudy, overcast, cool days to reacclimate them to true sunlight, because if I were to just carry them outside into full sun, they could get cooked. So this acclimation period is very important for anything that stays indoors protected inside. Failing to harden off your plants properly could result in them all being killed under true sunlight and could end your season before it even starts. And that's today's 2-minute garden tip. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell to receive new video notifications, and check out our Amazon storefront and spread shop in the video description for a list of the gardening products I use and awesome custom designed apparel and other gear. Your support is greatly appreciated.